Howdy, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Dirt Info Podcast. As always, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe down there. And with that, we'll go ahead and jump into our very first segment, and it's called. Well, that's Rick's
It's
part.
called Stylin and Profile.
Thanks, Rick. I stepped on his line,
I
Carter.
heard that.
I was slow to the trigger until I was like, can't let there be dead air time. Oh, sorry, Rick. Anyway, I'll have you go first.
I don't know what to do. Usually I try to theme it off of like an event coming up or an event I was at. But turns out Kyle Larson won the NASCAR championship this weekend. So hopefully I didn't do
That'll
this
work.
one. We're doing a Larson sweatshirt, which it's an older one 'cause it's the late model that he drove even before he had the Flow sponsorship.
Okay.
It's I think it's the Mav TV one that he had.
Ooh.
But yeah,
Oh
I got
yeah,
this a while
that's
ago.
yeah, bandwagon fan. He wins a championship, and all of a sudden you got Larson merch. Go
Yeah,
figure.
there's nothing Larson behind me. I'm actually
Not
not even
not
that
as
big of
big
a
a
fan,
thing.
honestly. I don't like
Oh
actively
yeah,
root for him.
not that big of a fan.
But the poster I got just because you never see that at like merch trailers, and I was like, that's sweet.
Yeah,
And then
I do
the
agree. I've
wing,
got some one-off items too. Yeah,
the wing is signed
yeah.
though,
It
so
is funny you've got like 4 or 5 wings back there, and we like
never talk about sprint
very
cars.
rarely talk about sprint cars.
That
You
was
got
those were
the
from
Hoffman back there.
yeah, I got that's a mod one actually.
Nice.
But
I'm
yeah,
jealous.
those are from there was I went through like a sprint car phase more than I like them more than late models, and that's when I got all those.
Okay. So now we're just matter of picking up some doors when we get the chance, kind of
Yeah, I
thing.
haven't got any in a
Yeah.
while. It's been a while since I got some.
Yeah, my walls. I need more. I need more. But for sure. All right. Well, I'll go next. And so I'm wearing Chase Holland. This one, I remember where I got it. I got it at Winneshiek. Um, when I went down there on a whim. Actually, the origin story of Dirt Info, I've told it a few times when Sherry and I on a whim went down to Winneshiek. But I went down there because he was down there along with USMTS, Chase Holland was, and picked this up. And I was trying to remember before we started recording. I know it's not my first racing shirt because my first racing shirt is a now defunct mod tour, the Advantage RV mod tour series. That was my first actual racing shirt. Not worn it yet, but I think this was the first one with a car on it. I do believe so. So kind of significant, and it ties into some of the stuff we're talking about. So anyway, but with that, dude, this is the first weekend in. We did the math right before we recorded, like 7+ months. You haven't
30,
been at a race.
31 weeks, by the way.
31 weeks. Goodness gracious. So you weren't at a racetrack. I've been done. I told everyone I was done a couple weeks ago. So we didn't actually go to a racetrack, but we still did stuff. So I mean, probably not to belabor it, but I think you had a Halloween party. What was your costume for the Halloween party?
Referee, because I delayed it, and then that was easy to get on Amazon.
You should have came to ours the week before. You could have been the ref for Sherry and
Just
I's wrestling match.
I will say mine actually. So there was like 6 of us there, and 2 of them were Mario and Princess Peach. The other 2 were like peanut butter and jelly sandwich thing. And then my cousin showed up, and like that day he went to Goodwill to do something, and then while he was there, he picked up some stuff for a costume, and I didn't know what he was, and he showed up as a football coach, so it actually kind of worked out
Oh, that worked
like
out well.
perfectly, yeah. But the flag was my favorite part. Like we'd be playing beer pong and just throw the flag. Or there was one point where like someone forgot to throw or something. I was like, "Hey, ref didn't see it," and it benefited me, of course.
Of
So
course.
it was a good move. Might have to break that out next year. I'll just do that every year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you already paid for it, right?
Exactly.
As long as it fits next year, go for it, you know? I got a little sidetracked when we tell the story because we didn't have a Mario at our party. My friends Rick and Heidi, they dressed up as Cheech and Chong, but for some reason her Cheech costume when she walked in the door had all of us just immediately think Mario. And then we were like waiting for my buddy Rick to walk in, and he's wearing a Canadian tuxedo. And we're like, that's not Luigi. So we all had to take a second. But then once we got it all put together, it was like she nailed the Cheech and Chong costume really well. It's just for whatever reason, when the red hat, we were all like Mario. But anyway, um, so I uh I I didn't even get to like hand out candy for Halloween for trick or treating, which is kind of a bummer. We've made a bit of a tradition around here. We like have a fire because I'm gonna rant for a second, but we do like decent amount of decorating for Halloween. But there's a house down the road, like 7 houses, that just goes balls to the wall. And there's a stop sign between us and them. So all the trick or treaters go from one end of the road to the stop sign and then turn, and then they don't come to us. So, and we're 2 houses from the stop sign. So we like set up a fire down at the end of the driveway and all this to like lure
Get him.
kids.
Get him.
But anyway, we didn't even get to do that this year because Xavier had a football game. So went and watched the Spring Lake Park Panthers win another one. They're in the official state tournament now. So Elite 8. We're down to 8. They're one of them. We have a game this Saturday at 1 p.m. So another like college football vibe.
Are
I
you
wonder
are
if I'll see
you
another
at the
airdrop.
Viking Stadium yet?
We are not. We're 1 week away from the Viking
Oh,
Stadium. So if they
then
win this week, we get to go. We'll probably be playing in the US Bank Stadium next weekend. Um, but yeah. So it was actually the varsity games I usually go and I'm just rooting for the team because right now Kiddo is just the scout team player and nothing wrong with that. That's just that's the part he plays on the team right now. But he got in late in the game and he's probably gonna hate me for this, but it's just a part of life. He unfortunately gave up a touchdown, and so that was you know, sort of the highs and lows of you work hard for your shot and then you get it, and sometimes you trip and fall. So now we're just kind of working on putting the pieces of the puzzle back together and going back to work. So I don't know. It was cool to see him play. Like I did as a dad, I saw that and I was like, dang it. I watched it develop. I've fortunately or unfortunately, I've coached him a lot and I've coached defense a lot for him when he was a kid. So I watched it all develop and I kind of saw the throw right before it happened. And I was like, dang it. But honestly, I went down afterwards and I was just happy to see my kid. And I was kind of proud that he got a chance to get in. You have to work really hard to be the first one in a blowout.
yeah.
I'll tell you that, right? Like it's not just him and nobody. He had to work really hard to get it. So it's the highs and lows of competing. Like he worked really hard to get the shot. And then when he got the shot, unfortunately, the lights were bright and they ran a really good designed play. It was a good designed play designed just to beat the coverage he was in, and he missed the guy. It happens. He should learn from it, and I bet his senior season will look a lot different because of it. So, I mean, you win and you lose, but he'll never see this. But I love you, kiddo. Anyway, moving on. So I didn't watch a ton of racing. I think you watched more than I did. So I'll let you
Mm,
lead it off.
I don't know. It might be
I watched
close.
one race.
Oh,
I
okay, never
saw
mind. Never
exactly
mind.
one feature. So I'll let you lead off. What did you watch the most of?
Charlotte was what I watched the most of.
Which
Friday,
I owe you
actually, go ahead.
I was gonna say I owe you an apology.
Oh,
You
because the
nailed the
name.
name of that, and I corrected you because my notes were crap. So I am sorry, Carter. You had it right. It's the World Short Track Championships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually worked out because Friday I was at the Halloween thing, but they ended up raining out or whatever, um, and moving it to Saturday, Sunday, and I was home
Mhm.
both of those days. So that's pretty much what I had on. Like all Saturday, I just had that on. Same with Sunday. I missed part of Sunday during the first couple of the B mains or whatever it was, but I caught most of it. It was rough because of the rain and stuff. Might it was a dome level rough. It was pretty bad, but
It looked
the
it.
drivers I'm sure hated it. But as a fan, I think it made it pretty entertaining because usually there it gets pretty dry in one lane, and it did not get dry. It maybe been one lane, but the few times they try the top, it would be entertaining.
Yeah, I saw some stuff on social media here and there. I caught the feature I caught was the Hornet feature there, and I turned down Flow to try to watch the National 100. It was over, so I turned on this, and they're in a caution, and they go into turn 2, and all of a sudden I just see the two lines just split. It just go like this, and I was like, Wow, that was the first time I'd like actually seen it, and I was like, "Dang!" And then they go into 3 and 4, and it looked halfway decent. So they by Sunday they managed to get half the track
Yeah, it
looking
was
okay. But
better
I was like,
Sunday, but still not great. Compared to Saturday, it was
"Yeah,
better. If it was, yeah, Saturday was like guys would go into the corner, like the mods and stuff that are lower to the ground, and like their whole front end would dig in, sheet metal would go flying, they'd lift up into the air, and then I remember too Friday. So they were gonna run till 11. I guess I have 11 o'clock curfew. That's what the announcer said, and then 11 came and they were still running, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna go to midnight and get as much as we can in, and then stop." And they got to the remember they do like the Hornets have like features instead of heats on that
yep."
first day. So they got to those. They got to the first one. I think they were like 6 laps in, and a guy rolled over and the guy's car was up in flames. And then they were like, all right, that's it for the night. Congrats to this guy. He won the first Hornet feature. We'll finish the last two tomorrow.
We tried, and y'all didn't want to cooperate.
But yeah, it was entertaining. I'll give it that. It was entertaining. I
Yeah.
don't think the drivers had a lot of fun.
Nah, probably not. Probably a lot of beat up equipment for
Yeah.
not a ton of money, but hey, they saw the track and they chose to still do it, right? So I think on some level they could have opted out and so they didn't. So we were there, we were entertained nonetheless. I did pick up a couple winners. So I saw in the 604, so they had two like 8,000 features. The 604 crates was one of them, and Michael Leach won that, and so he picked up a fairly big win for him. I would say that's one of his first ones. We talked about him way back at the beginning of this year that he was in a like a Longhorn. He got like a Longhorn factory deal, and so he. I don't want to say this is his first win, but one of the first wins I've made note of. He's run good in a super here and there, but hell, that's a good win. And
Yeah.
then did you see much of that? How did it go? I mean,
I
how did
I
the
had it
604s handle?
I had it on. I remember it was kind of just one lane around the bottom. No one was really going above the very bottom lane was like okay, and then anything above that was cornfield, and pretty much everyone, from what I remember, kind of stayed below the cornfield part of it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And then the other $8,000 to win feature was the modifieds, and Ray Cable won that one. I've seen his name some here and there with the modified mafia, so I know he runs a little bit with them. So I guess this is kind of in his neck of the woods. Didn't you told me someone else was leading? I
Yeah,
can't
so
recall who it
Troutman
was.
Troutman I believe started pretty far back and got to the lead. And I don't know if he ran it the whole race, but when I remember like looking up, he was running the top, which was obviously a lot rougher than the bottom where most people were. And he got to the lead, and then he got a flat with, I don't know, it was under 10 to go, I'm pretty sure. He got a flat, and then I think that Cable ended up taking the lead back. But I remember seeing Troutman leading. I was like, oh, this is over. And then I look up a little bit later, and he's going off the track with flat tires. But yeah, he was running I don't know if it was from like he hit a rut too hard and got a flat, or there was debris. There probably was debris because guys' body panels and God knows what was flying off their cars. So who knows what he hit, but he got a flat.
Yeah. All right. Well, at least he put on a show to get there.
Yeah.
And Ray capitalized from there, so good for him. Um, they had a bunch of other stuff. I think the 358s was 5,000 to win, and Jessica Power won that. So um, that was just kind of an interesting name to see win that one as well. Um, but anything else? Final parting thoughts on the World Short Track Championship? Now we've got the name locked down.
I hope it rains again next year.
You and only you. I do remember the narrative, and we'll talk about it later. But the narrative the whole time, I thought, and indicative of how they view these two shows was, man, I sure hope they can get the track fixed by next week. No one was particularly cared about how it came together this weekend. Just don't hurt it too much for next week. But anyway, as I briefly mentioned before, the National 100 down at East Alabama Motor Speedway was this weekend too. I tried to watch it on Sunday, and they must have run an efficient show because I turned it on like 6:37. It was over. And
They
maybe I
started at
got
like
my
11
time wrong.
a.m. I think, or something crazy
Okay,
too. So,
so they were just cooking. Yeah.
but
All right.
I turned it on for the late model feature. I watched like the first 15 laps and then it rubbered, and I was like, all right, off to Charlotte we go, because I'm not trying to watch him run around in rubber for a while. So,
Yeah. Yeah. By chance, do you recall who was leading when you turned the channel?
I remember someone threw a slider for the lead. It may have been
Okay.
Turbo because he ended up winning, but I honestly can't remember what
Okay.
happened. I just
Yeah.
remember a slider happened for the lead.
Yeah, I remember seeing some stuff on social media about a couple of the features, but not the big features. So we just can go ahead and run through the winners and maybe just proceed on since we didn't have a ton of knowledge about this. But Brendan Overton won on Friday. Good to see him pick up a win. Jimmy Owens picked up 10,000 on Saturday. And I think that was following a DQ. So I
Yeah,
picked up some of that.
Whitener got DQ'd. I saw they posted they didn't put in, like enough fuel in the car, so like when it burned off,
Oh
they were light.
shit.
That's what they said. So
That's not a good mistake to make. Rookie
no,
mistake for a guy who's raced a lot. So.
and he raced
Uh,
like 4 divisions there that weekend.
Well,
So
that would make that actually might be why it's easy to see how someone might forget that. Just in all the chaos. And then on Sunday, Tyler Erb won what Carter's reporting a rubber marred feature for $30,000. So,
yeah.
uh,
Oh, we should mention too. We our car count guess was off, way off. They had
was
like
it? Was it?
22.
They wouldn't even really?
Yeah, I was surprised at how low it
Huh?
was.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Was
or maybe
weather? I don't know. Maybe
I
weather was an
I don't
issue or
remember
something like
whether
that.
I don't remember weather being an issue really. I know
Huh?
they had like 21 the first day. I don't think it went up. Maybe they had enough, might have had enough for a B main the last. No, 23 they had the last day.
Huh. That's a little disappointing, I guess. I don't know what the reasoning for that is, but that they put up 45,000 up top. Maybe the rest of the payout wasn't all that great. Who knows? I don't want to speculate, but odd to have that much money over a weekend and have 22 cars, especially down there. It's
Yeah.
not there's
I
a
mean,
lot of
some
cars.
guys that would have been there were at Charlotte in like a crate, and some guys are just like, we're just gonna wait till Charlotte. But still, I thought they would have got 30 at least.
Yeah. I would have too. They had 31 last year.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. And last
So
year they had more conflicting with it, I feel like.
I felt like they did too. So I don't know. I wonder if anyone out there knows more to that story. If anyone's watching and they have a idea why that might be, I guess we'd be interested to know, and so would some of our viewers. Because yeah, I don't know. I know who promoted it last year, and if that person was still promoting it this year or involved in some way this year, maybe their reputation preceded them. I don't know. I was just well, I kind of alluded to it last week, but this was the same show where like Pearson and Turbo had been running a bunch of XR shows, and then all of a sudden they were like announced for this, and they were like, "Nah, we ain't going." No. The weekend the money ran out, I guess. But anyway, so that's an idea. That's a thought. Well, we're also so normally we would have probably like vaguely talked about this on a different episode, but we had to reschedule for questionable reasons. And so we're recording a day late. So
Birthday
we
party.
actually a birthday party, a celebration. It's a celebration. Um, but so yesterday was the Gateway Dirt Nationals draft presented by MTH. Oh, I should have worn my MTH hat. But so Minnesota Truck headquarters, they're a big player up in my area, so it's kind of cool to see them involved there. I also saw that Collins Brothers Towing of St. Cloud was involved this year too. I saw them on some of the branding on the draft thing too, so cool to see Trantina and the gang getting involved here as well. But anyway, I digress. I thought it was cool. They jumped in 2 feet first, that's for sure. But so the draft was kind of interesting. I caught some of it live. I think you rewatched some of it back. You had
Yeah.
mentioned before we started recording. Um, do you have an opinion on who has the better late model
Late model team? Yeah, I
roster?
think
Yeah.
Cody does Thursday night.
Okay. I also agree with that. I
They're
also agree.
both
It's sort of
good,
an
but just
opposing thing.
if it was like at a normal, like say Eldora, I think I would actually pick Friday nights. But at the Dome, like Shepard, Pierce, Hoffman, Spatola, Turbo, Fager, Winger, like those are dome guys. Where like the Friday one, it's RTJ's good there, Carpenter's good there, but like Davenport, like they're not
English,
like they're
yeah.
good, like they're not bad there, but they're not Shepard, Pierce good there.
Yeah, I do kind of like the Gordy Gundaker pick early. Like that's like playing to the track. Gordy seems to be halfway decent. They're
Yeah,
kind
because
of a
they were
contender.
giving out stats too, like for like their average finish and stuff. And like
Yep.
Gordy was actually he had a pretty good average finish there. Tanner English is another one that has a really good average finish there. They just haven't
Mhm.
won it.
Right. Yep. And I think maybe you hit it right on the head. I just feel like Hoffman. Even I don't know if you mentioned Hoffman, but Hoffman, Herb, Harrison, like those guys just feel like if the track is what the dome is, I feel like
It's
they have
perfect
experience and
for him.
they've
Yeah,
proven, yeah, that they know how to get around there. Whereas the other one is like a little bit more of a smooth track, kind of like maybe
exactly.
technicians a little bit. Yeah, I feel you.
Like
I felt like Cody's roster was more
it's
elbows
kind
up
it's
drivers.
honestly it's kind of the same. Like it's just like the left side is like Illinois-ish guys or guys you'd see at like some Hell Tour race. The right is guys you would not see at a Hell Tour race. You would see them at Eldora or something, or you'd
Yep,
see them
yep,
at an Ironman race at Atomic, like we saw a couple weeks ago. Like that's where
yeah,
they would show
yeah.
up.
Yeah, I hear that. Yep. You're not wrong. Although interestingly enough, Moran is the one who won at Atomic and
I
he's
know.
on Cody's roster.
Marlar won at Atomic.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Marla did it. Moran was second. Yeah, and he is indeed on the
Friday one.
Friday roster. Nice. I screwed up my own stats in my head. Uh but yeah, Marlar is an interesting one. As far as like, so since we started with late models, we can kind of, I think, maybe stick there for a moment. Did you see? I noticed a couple interesting names. I think you brought up a couple interesting names. Um, I'm I'm taking the list by like when they were drafted, so I am with a grain of salt taking those gentlemen at the back end of both rosters is maybe questionable. So with that grain of salt, I noticed Don O'Neill was on there.
Yeah, that one I
You
missed.
noticed.
I didn't see him until you told me. The one I thought was two I thought was interesting was Billy Moyer and Marlar. I don't know if Marlar's been there. I don't think he
I don't know
has.
either.
At least not I don't remember him being there recently.
I felt like he started hinting at going last year during the dome though, and has made a couple of hints since. So I wasn't surprised to see him
Yeah.
on there.
I was just
Um,
I never really took him as a dome guy. Like I know he's a bigger
yeah,
name and it's not surprising that he's there, but he's just not one.
yeah,
Even like when Overton went last year, like that was kind of surprising me because he's never really
yep,
went much before, if at all, before that. So
yeah. Well, it's getting a little bit more of a prestige vibe. I think it
and it's
builds on itself every
70,000 to win
year,
this year
and it's
too.
70,000 to win. Speaking of Marler, when I saw his name, I was like, I had it both like it doesn't feel like something Marler would do. And then I remember him kind of cowboy upping around some of them Kentucky tracks.
Yeah,
And I'm like, maybe this is exactly a Mike Marler event. It's sort of, I don't know where to put him on if like this is,
I think he likes smaller tracks. I don't know.
I think so
And he
too. And a
also,
little cowboy up pony, like having
he,
to get on it. And,
I know this isn't like
and
a
he,
random event, but like Marlar will show up at like random races, like the Outlaws are in Kansas, and he's gonna go there just because he likes going to new things. And I don't know, he's always up to random things,
yeah,
doing
he's
random
been
stuff.
driving a mod lately.
Yeah, he drove a
We
sprint
mentioned it
car
about,
recently. He's always up
yeah,
to God
yeah,
knows
yeah.
what.
He's always up to something.
He might end up at the freaking snowball derby this weekend instead, for all we know. Instead of
There's a
even coming
chance.
here.
I hope not, because I
I
really
hope
want
not
to see
too.
Mike Marler rip the fence at the dome. I really do. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Um, and then another name I saw that fits that Marler vibe of like it doesn't feel like an event for them, but also them being there and doing good wouldn't totally shock me. And that was Brian Shirley. So I mean, I don't feel like he's been there in the recent past.
Yeah, so I looked this up. So the last time he was there in a late model was 2016, the first one. And I found a picture of the car. It was not his car. It looked like an old piece of junk car that someone's like, hey, you could drive this at the Dome. But he was there in 2018, in a midget. That was his last appearance there, was in a midget in 2018.
When they had the midgets there,
Yeah,
really?
because I was looking
Huh.
on my race pass, and the first one I saw was 2018, it said midget, and I was maybe he ran both. I clicked on it, just midget, and then
Just a midget.
they don't have the dome on MRP for 16 and 17, so that one took some digging to find. So he may have been there in 17. I looked at some article that had the qualifying results, and I didn't see his name on there. So I think he was just there at 16 in a late model.
Oh, so back for the first time since the first time. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And again, he would be one that I wouldn't be shocked if it doesn't go his way and he just kind of like he was there and participated, but like he doesn't run towards the front or anything. I
He's
also wouldn't be shocked if he's digging the ditch for the lead in the feature either. I could see him going either way completely.
while searching for this info, so he's assuming this hasn't changed because this post was from July, but he's not in his car, like the Bob Collin
I
car. He's
figured
driving
that. I
for
figured
Todd
that.
Brennan, I believe is his name. Oh, I think it's an Ohio guy, Todd Brennan. I've heard the
That's a
name.
supercar.
It's a
Yeah.
number 20 that I
Yeah.
sometimes think looks like RTJ if I remember right.
Hmm.
But that's who he's
Yeah,
driving
of
for.
previous RTJ
Yeah,
cars. Yeah.
previous
Yeah.
cars. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I see a lot of I don't want to pass judgment, but I see a lot of Todd Brenneman on my timeline on occasion, and he's usually smashing someone up. So I don't think that like there's going to be any, you know, strings attached with how hard he can drive this thing. So and it's a super.
Yeah, it's not
So
like he's in a crate or anything.
yeah.
But there's a
So
few guys, bigger names that aren't in their own stuff. Like
oh
Moran is
yeah,
driving for someone. I think Hudson's driving for somebody else too. Like aside from the
probably
Rumley Six, I know he's in that sometimes, but
yeah.
I think it's someone completely different. So
I remember the year I went. Moran made the feature, and like he was not. He was just in like a black car with like a green or purple or pink number or something, and like I just didn't even know it was Moran the whole time he was there. I bought a Moran shirt, and I still didn't like. I never was like, is he here or does he just have Moran?
when I was last there, I think Hudson was driving for Boom Briggs and he smashed it in hot
Oh
laps and
yeah,
was done because we
yeah.
literally just sat in our seats and then Hudson goes into the turn, which was right in front of us in
Backs it
turn
up in
three
line. Yeah,
and backed it into the fence. And I remember they tried to get it fixed for Saturday and it never happened. So
never
that
happened.
kind of sucked to lose one of the top guys. Even
Yeah.
hot laps on Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of him and Carpenter are paired up again on Friday on Emma's roster. And the year I went, that was the year that they had the incident at the track entrance, which caused
Oh
it to
yeah.
be redone and all of that. But yeah, that was the year they went. So I've always kind of viewed them as kind of a uh hot and heated rivalry. So I don't know that there hasn't been much of it since then, but I'm always jazzed when there's a chance. I don't know. The dome is so much gladiator sport as much as racing that I love the. I actually love the storylines and the tension in the guys. I don't expect them to wreck each other, but I don't mind if they race each other extra hard here. You know,
It,
some other tracks maybe don't want them smashing fenders, but this one I don't think anyone's going to be too worse for the wear if they get together a couple times. You know,
they should have had Hostvar and Fager together too. They messed up there. They're
true.
separate days.
Yeah, missed that one. So is I wonder what car Hostfar is in. Probably the same one he's always
Uh,
in. He's
they it's been posted. I honestly can't remember who it is though.
yeah,
He's
I
been
think I saw
testing it
some
at
post.
Charlotte this last week. But yeah, I can't remember who
Oh,
it
it's
is.
pretty much right on. So I'm looking forward to it. I like the idea of a draft. So talking about the product, less about the results. It was interesting to watch for a minute. I definitely don't know. I caught it late mod draft, so I caught it like the back end of the back end of everything. You could tell they were a little wore out, and it was a lot of work. Probably would have been. I might want to go back and catch the front end. You rewatched it. What were your takeaways? As like just a product, as something to offer. I
I
mean,
would have actually liked it because that was the first time we knew who was going there. Like there was no like besides posts from drivers, like you didn't know everyone that was going. So that's what I would have liked it
true.
for. Um, I know like so for the mods, I don't know if they mentioned this when you started watching it, but so if say whoever took, I think Emma took Ricky Thornton Jr. She couldn't get him in the mods then, so he defaulted for
Okay.
mods, went to Cody's team. So
Okay.
and there was a lot of guys like Mike Harrison's doing double. Um, there's a few others that are doing double. So like if the Thursday person took a mod or a late model guy that's driving a mod, that means when the mod part comes around, it goes to Friday. So that was I kind of like that aspect. Um,
I like that so much. Only just because there's money up for the winning roster, right? There's cash
yeah,
bonuses
that's
up for
true.
the so then you're
But
just for
you
like
kind
it
of
basically like Ricky and Mike, they stand a chance to win money,
you
whereas
can't
some other guys are just
kind of had to be strategic. Like I would have taken, I would have wanted the other person to take Ricky for the late models because not that he's bad in late model, but I think he's got a better chance in the mod to win it just because there's less
yeah,
cars and he's won it in the mod before. He hasn't won it in the late
true,
model. Um,
true.
and then they ended up doing so when I was watching it, I made it through like so they did like rounds, and the first 20 picks they did like each individual driver. They did like Shepard, and then the next person would take the next. But then once they did each got 20, they started doing it in groups. So they did groups of three just to speed it up. 'Cause there's
Yeah.
132 entries, I believe. And then after, I think when they got to 50, they went by five.
Oh,
Just
cool.
so yeah, just because there would
Just
have
to
been
kind of
forever
keep
if they were
it.
each
Yeah.
doing one by one. I don't know what they did
Yeah.
for the mods. I fell asleep at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you, speaking of mods, I mean, we'll nail it here. Did you have an opinion of who had the better mod roster?
I didn't look too hard at that one.
Yeah.
I can
Well, I
look
will
though.
say that I thought Emma had the Friday roster was a little bit better. And I think the reason I felt that way is just kind of like the bottom part of her roster. Like she got guys like Mefford and Treb Jacoby and Michael Altabelli and Kyle Hammer and Dave Hess, dudes who've been here over and over and over and have been fast, good, put it in the show, run okay. Just feel like she had, I don't know, the her dark horses shined brighter. I think at the top they're kind of equal,
I
but
think I think the top I would take Cody's, but yeah, the bottom half hers is better. Like Troutman and Thornton nicely. Trent Young, I think did he win it or take second last year?
second, I believe.
Yeah. Who
I
won it
think
last year?
nicely.
Oh yeah.
No, no, no,
Um,
no, 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 no,
no,
no,
it wasn't
no.
nicely. It
It's
was someone.
nicely. No, it's not nicely. The 777 car. Come on.
Oh, Trevor Neville.
Trevor Neville. Yep,
Is he
that's what
even
it is.
on it this year? He's not even
Yeah,
going,
he's on Thursday.
is he?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's taken later than
Yeah.
I thought he would be.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and also we're on a car that's on Friday, so I'm a little partial to that one too. So Alex Williamson is on Friday. We will be featured on his dome wrap. I don't know what the dome wrap is. I feel confident in confirming we'll be on it, and we'll probably be on the merch too. So when you're there, yeah, keep a lookout. Your podcast will be on a shirt. It's going to be harder to keep this secret. At some point, it's just going to come out, Carter. Anyway, and so also, I guess I'll say it here, but I'll probably say it again. The tentative plan is to have Alex join me next weekend or next week. And the reason for that, because we're going to transition into what are you doing? And Carter is about to break every viewer's heart, and and they're going to just be like, shit, we're stuck with him again. But anyway,
Uh,
what you got going on?
yeah. So I'm leaving. Today's Tuesday. Thursday at well, the flight at 6:30. I'd be taking off for Vegas. And I'll be in Vegas Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday to the next Saturday, I'll be in Arizona. In Vegas, it's the open wheel showdown at the asphalt track there, which is the bull ring at Las Vegas.
Yep.
Not the NASCAR one, but they have like a quarter mile
Yeah.
or something asphalt track. And that's a 50,000 to win sprint car race. I'll be helping with the stream there. And then uh, that's I think Thursday's practice, Friday, Saturday they race, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is kind of like off days. I'm kind of just stuck in. I think I'll be
Oh,
in.
hold up.
Go ahead.
Before you get to the second part, I was sitting here and I went, it's asphalt. Are you working during the day?
Probably
Is
both during the
this,
day and night.
yeah,
'Cause it starts at like 2 on
interesting.
Saturday. So I would love if
Okay.
we're done by 8 o'clock. I'd be sweet.
That'd be kind of cool, right? Yeah.
But also,
Huh.
I don't know about this show, but I've been to some asphalt shows that can really drag her out. Same with dirt, but asphalt too. Um,
Yeah. No, I just like it feels like I think this is a bigger paying show. You mentioned that, and then
yeah, 50K.
yeah, it's on the big speed sport, and so I was like this, and it's asphalt is usually a day thing, so
Yeah.
you're not used to working the day, man. This is gonna be a switch up for you.
Well, I'm usually there during the day, just not live yet.
Right, right. Yeah, you have to be there even earlier now. You might have to have like be there at 11. Have you been to a
Probably,
nerd?
probably earlier than that. Well, like during the
Yeah.
100, we were getting there at like 1 o'clock. But yeah,
Okay.
this will be early. Um, I got to adjust to the time change too because they're 2 hours behind
Yeah.
us. But then yeah, after that,
So it won't be nearly as bad, actually.
No, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I don't really know where I'll be then because John will be joining us in Arizona, but I think he's getting there like Tuesday night or something. So Sunday, Monday, I'll be somewhere. I have no idea where. I got to figure that out.
DVD.
Either Vegas or Arizona. Um, but then yeah, then I believe Tuesday night John from Dirt Race Central will get there, and then I think Ben's coming with him too. Um,
Okay.
but then Wednesday we go to Mojave Valley Speedway in a raceway it might be in Arizona, which it's like right on the border of Arizona and California. And they have the Duel at Mojave, which is basically the Duel in the Desert replacement that was at Vegas. Um, and that's, I think Wednesday we're setting up, then they race Thursday. They might have practice too Wednesday, I don't remember. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday they race. And that's $7,777 to win for the mods, IMCA
They
mods,
kept
just like,
even that.
yep. And then sport
Yeah.
mods and stock cars, I think are both 2,500. Stock cars might be, I think they're both 25. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, so that'll be cool. I've been to the original
That will
Duel in
be
the
cool.
Desert in 2019, and that was the last time I was in Vegas too. It's 2019, so I've now going to be going to Vegas twice strictly for racing. Because when I went the first time, I literally did nothing besides go to the racetrack,
Well,
and probably what I'll do this
you,
time.
you got a couple spare days that you're not sure where you're going to be. You might have to go gambling or something.
I'm not a gambling person though, so
It's
probably
okay.
unlikely.
Just take
Yeah,
a
but
20. Just the 20.
I
Just
don't
the
like
20. You
putting
don't need
money
to
on
go and
things if I'm
gamble on
not
the whole
guaranteed to get something back in return.
excitement, guaranteed excitement and or disappointment, and then there's a guaranteed payout. I can't say you want
I
to
can buy
take
other stuff with
it.
20 bucks there too, probably. I could do that. So,
There is that.
but yeah, so that then I'll be flying back Sunday. So
All right.
it was gonna miss 2 episodes until the Vegas thing.
Yeah, we
Because
got that.
originally we were driving there and back. Um, and I wouldn't have been back for that the second week either, but I'll be back now.
If you miss 2 weeks, dude, don't even come back. There's not going to be a podcast at that point. They're going to have all left. They're just going to be like, nah, I can't handle just him. But anyway, I have been seeing a bunch of stuff about that dueling at Mojave, and that seems kind of cool. I'm probably going to try to watch that. So at least part of it, because I know that your camera work is elite. So I always gotta check out the elite camera work. Also, you should start taking pictures.
Yeah, I'm bad
I'm
at
just
taking
gonna
pictures.
just you have an eye for it. Just straight up, which is absolutely no surprise, right? I mean, you work behind a camera. It's not shocking that you have an eye for still photography too. But I'm just saying, it's just something to consider. I've seen some pictures of yours lately that you've been taking, and I'm just like,
Are you talking about the one
come
from
on, man.
Luxembourg that I put on my Facebook with hair
Could have
off on
been,
the
could have
track?
been. That's not the last good one I've
Oh,
seen of yours, but I do like that one a lot.
that one,
Uh,
yeah, that one, those were pictures for Dirt Race Central for like the live stream. Like when you click on it, they need pictures and
yeah,
stuff. And I was like, I just happened, I don't think it's ever been used, but I just took a bunch of random pictures there. That was on like a random Wednesday afternoon in the summer.
yeah.
But yeah, it was
Well,
with an iPhone too, not even a camera.
with an iPhone, did you hold it sideways? It might be a
Yeah,
thumbnail.
I did it
Yeah.
sideways.
Yes, you had a point card. Inside baseball stuff now. Usable is what I want to say. But anyway, well, right on. Um, so I'm alluded to it a little bit up top. I got a football game on Saturday at 1 p.m. That's the big thing I'm pumped about. And then there is a few shows that I'm gonna try to catch. And I guess you'll be working, so you're
Yeah,
gonna miss
I'll
out
catch
on all
literally
the
none of this. Oh, actually no. Yeah, they'll be because we're behind, so they'll be done.
Yeah, they'll be done. And they start early, and there's a lot of stuff about these shows that's sometimes throws me off.
I'm just hoping to
I'm
catch the
there's
Viking games. That's my worry.
Yeah, JJ's back.
Exactly.
Back. We got a dog back under center. Uh yeah, that was fun. That was fun this weekend. I was watching that with Xavier, and I was like, I mean, I know I told you this story, but that was so much fun. Just I was like, oh, doing what he does best. He's like, you just handed it off. I'm like, yeah, it's what you say he does best, but he's just turning out first downs, man. Quarterback be quarterback. And what are you upset about? And then he just threw that dot to Jefferson right on that defender's head and
Oh,
right
the
in front of
one-handed
Xavier.
catch.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one-handed one. Where just like
Well, the play
perfection
before he
all
threw
the
a
way around.
dot to Addison, but Addison
Yeah.
didn't hold it in.
Yeah. He's just slinging. I'm just like, he's back, kid. And he's like, I can't believe it. How do you still think he's good? I'm like, are you watching the same game I am, kiddo? Anyway, I digress. So I'm excited. JJ's back. I'll probably make sure to watch the Vikings game too. Um, but yeah, pumped about the kiddo playing football as well. Hopefully he gets in. Maybe he doesn't, maybe shows up for himself a little bit. We need a blowout. That's hard to do in these. But anyway, the racing that I'm going to try to watch. I'm actually, I think I'm debating right here on air. I'm probably more excited about World Finals, so we'll start there. I think World Finals is a cool show. Everyone watching probably knows what it is. You definitely know what it is, Carter. But it's the season-ending event for the World of Outlaws, late models, sprint cars, and then the Super Dirt Car Series, big block modifieds. So they got some decent money up. Late models and sprints are 15,000, 15,000, 25,000, and then the big blocks, they're always kind of kick a little dirt on them, but they're 10, 10, 15. So big money up for grabs. The championships, which is that's what they're trying to do, is make the storylines be like everyone championships decided here. They're all pretty much locked up. Pierce is pretty much locked up. Late models, gravel definitely is locked up. Sprint cars, and then on the big block side of things, Matt Williamson more or less has it locked up. He could Yankowski could technically catch him, but Williamson would basically have to break in multiple races.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was leading the big blocks.
Yeah, so Matt Williamson, he's got a 109-point lead over Alex Yankowski. And when I talk about these, I want to know how do they score points? And basically it's 20 in back, and a win would be about a 50-point difference. So you have to rip off multiples of those basically to make up 109. So unlikely, you know what I mean? It just doesn't seem like it's going to quite happen. So, but other than that, as far as entrants go, I haven't seen a ton so far, but it's usually a decent field. I think I did actually. I saw Rico's going in a sprint car.
Oh,
RTJ's going in a sprint car and his late model. So I did see those.
I'm gonna see if they have it on MRP. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Like a pre-entry
Nope,
list of
nothing.
some sort? Okay.
Oh wait,
So
I lied.
oh,
On Wednesday they have them. This will go up for the sprint cars, I'm sure, because it says 27. The late models, it
okay.
says 71.
Whoa.
Dylan Thornton.
Oh yeah, I did see he was gonna be there. He's gonna be in that
13, the Cody
same car
Summer
he's
car.
been
Yeah,
in. Yeah,
a
the
lot
Cody
of guys
Summers
you'd
car.
expect, like Davenport, McDowell, Overton. Trying to look for
Okay.
someone surprising. I'll let you know if I see anyone.
Yeah, I mean, tough when you got 71. I don't think there's a ton of surprise.
Surprisingly, more so from the Midwest that I'm surprised
Yeah,
they're here.
right. One
But
of our guys you wouldn't necessarily see. Matthew Larson's probably going to be there with Brett as someone. But and
doesn't
then
look like it.
the format for this is I don't know, interesting-ish. It's the every lap matters thing. So the Thursday and Friday shows play into Saturday, and then they also do this thing where they qualify for both shows on a separate day.
On Wednesday,
I've always found that a little
it
nonsensical.
used to be worse. The format used to be
It
worse
did.
somehow. When I went in 2019, it was Thursday was qualifying for the sprint cars and late models. They just did qualifying for Friday, Saturday, and then the big blocks did qualifying, and then the big blocks ran both days of heat races on Thursday. So then Friday and Saturday, all the big blocks had were B mains and features.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ended up raining out
Uh,
at some point. I think the big blocks got the first set of heats in when I went, and then it rained, and then they started up the Saturday portion of qualifying for the late models, and it rained. So then, so
okay.
Saturday when I went was they actually had heat races still or something like that. I know because it rained out
Yeah.
that first day. But yeah, it was worse. You get more racing now. And you
Yeah.
can kind of skip that Wednesday. Like
Yeah, you definitely could.
that Thursday it kind of sucks. It's like, well, I only get to see a B main feature for the big blocks. So that's why we went Thursday. But like now, like if I were to go to this again, I probably wouldn't go Wednesday. I don't really care about seeing the qualify. Not especially at that
Is
track. It's not even like there's some tracks for
no
qualifying's kind of entertaining, but theirs is not even close. I'm good on that.
the the purist in me is just kind of like how you gonna qualify on a completely different track. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna qualify on Wednesday for Friday. Like the whole point of qualifying is see who's got to figure it out for this track on the. I now the other side of the coin. Nobody wants to watch them qualify heat
Yeah,
and bees and features in one night, so that's not going to work either. So maybe
and
this is the
it
best of
helps
both
the
worlds,
track
but
because if we did all that
yeah, right.
qualifying, yeah,
Oh god, it would be junk after qualifying alone.
yeah.
Like it just the heat races would be it. So I get all of it, but part of me is just like seems so freaking silly to qualify for a different. But it makes for efficient programs when they actually do get around to racing. So there's that. And I don't super care for watching qualifying in any iteration. So I'm you
No,
just watch the show and we're right into heat races.
I'm fine. I don't know. Do they still hot lap them Friday and Thursday?
Engine
Probably.
heat 'em for sure. I
I'm
love
sure
to
they
go
still hot lap.
remember. Yeah,
Sprint cars can't
love
race
that.
without hot laps.
Well, they do engine heat them, but I don't know if they hot lap them. To be
Yeah, I know. I just feel
completely
like I've
honest with
never
you.
been to a sprint car show without hot laps.
Yeah,
Local all the way up to national, they always got their hot laps. Even in my area where we don't do hot laps, the sprint
they
cars still
still get
get their
hot
hot
laps.
laps. Yeah, the 360s around me do.
So it's special. So, anyway, well, that'll be a fun watch. I'll definitely try to catch. So anyway, finishing off the format. So everything feeds into Saturday. Saturday everyone still runs heats. So they just line them up by
Points.
Thursday, Friday points. Yep. And then they still run heats. So that's how they skip qualifying on that day. I dig it. I don't mind
I'm
it.
fine with
And
that.
then so everyone runs heats and then they qualify in as normal. So kind of a cool format, at least a little bit. And so I'll watch it. I won a couple years back. I ran a gauntlet for I called it the gauntlet, and
I
I did
remember
like
this.
the offshoot. This was like a dirt draft league before they had dirt draft leagues. Like I like
Pretty
made a private
much.
contest and we promoted it and everything. Tommy Moreau, who like runs a sprint car up in like Canada and in the Northeast, he won. Getting him a case of
Oh
of
yeah, because international ship,
Vigor,
right?
yeah, that was. I actually ended up being able to order it from a distributor in Canada and
Did
get
he
it
get it
delivered to
before the
him.
next World Finals came around?
He did. He
Oh, that's
did. I
surprising.
had to work hard. Like I used my creator code to get him. So I didn't really think it all the way through. In retrospect, I could have maybe used some logistics for myself. But I had him and I was just gonna send them out to other people with hats and stuff. And then Tommy wins one portion of it. And I'm like, how the hell am I gonna get this to Canada? I got him the hat too. I pulled through. I got him everything. Everyone got paid out. It was kind of cool. So, but it was a lot of work for not a ton of people to participate. But it might be the precursor for dirt draft leagues, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I do have a connection to
I
them, and I
enjoyed it. I did
promoted the hell
terrible in
out of
it.
that.
I did good the first day,
Yeah.
and it all went downhill after that. So
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I just having like went in expecting more help and then as I learned later to be typical, the expectation and promises of help were not delivered. Something came up. And so it like just fell on my head. So I was just so not into it, by the time I got to the end. I made it fun. Anyway, if anyone's curious on my Facebook timeline, there's a whole Josh making a thing about this gauntlet. I did like play-by-play analysis. Couldn't spit that one out. Like during the final night of like after each feature, who moved into the lead and leaderboards and stuff. There's a whole thing on the dirt. I think it's on my Twitter timeline too.
I
Anyway, so
remember
yeah,
Twitter. Yeah,
I went all in on that, man. Anyway, moving on. So I like the World Finals. And then the other thing I'm going to keep an eye on is this American Racers Modified Series is at Texas Motor Speedway. Um, it popped on my radar because I obviously keep track of ARMS, and we talked about them being at Texas Motor Speedway like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they had like 70 mods. So I'm
yeah.
expecting this event to be highly populated with mods, and they've got like 32 plus drivers already. But you informed me that they have 410 sprint cars and late
Yeah,
models
so
there
I
too.
knew
So
this
this.
show because Power Eye sprint cars were going there. I didn't know mods were there.
Yeah. So interesting enough. So this seems like a cool thing. They're calling it Deuces Wild, which seems weird because they got 3 classes now. So I wonder if one of those was a late ad. But they're going both Friday and Saturday night. I don't know what the payout is. I assume it's their typical is $2,000, and then if it's something special, they bump it. But I didn't check to see what this one pays for. That's for modifieds. Um, Shout out to Arms. They've been pumping out people that are going to be there. They've already announced 32 drivers or more. I think it might be more because I checked this morning and they've done more since.
More
So
sense.
it's like they're, yeah. And so Rodney Sanders, Tyler Wolf, and 2 cars. You again told me Wolf's going to be in 2 cars. He's also going to be in a 410 sprint car. I'm lying.
Yeah.
He's going to be in a late model. But I would love to see him in a 410 sprint car.
You imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
Right.
we could be in 3. He could be in 1. They
He
haven't announced
could
the
be. They
410
haven't
entries.
announced any of the entries for that, so there's a chance. Cale Westover is the points leader there, and this is their final race weekend. So, um, I didn't even check to see who else was in the running, but maybe I think it's close, and we'll figure out if Cale wins when it's all said and over. And then the other thing I'm a little bit curious. I'm just going to throw this out. So Stormy Scott was at Votto in his own car, and then it somehow ended up in Kay Dillard's backup car. I told this story about the announcer and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
He since ran Dillard's car again at Why Not for the Fall Classic. I'm now curious if he will be. I wonder if he'll be in Dillard's car here, and then Dillard will be at World Finals. I'm curious. Did
I
you
don't
see
know.
Dillard on that list?
I
Did you
can
see
look.
Dillard on the
That's a
other
good point.
list?
Hold
That'll
on.
tell us if Dillard where he'll be, probably.
Oop, looking at sprint cars. Wrong spot.
Oh, well, maybe. I mean, RTJ's in a
It
sprint
shows
car.
them on there.
Okay, so that's what I'll be curious about this arm show then, is if Stormy Scott shows up, because I also noticed he was kind of like selling some of his stuff recently, just kind of like I haven't been able to race as much as I want kind of thing. So he was getting rid of some an engine at least. I saw Stormy Scott was, so maybe he's like the unofficial house car driver for CDR all of a sudden. Something to think about. I think he manufactures them
Where's
too.
Stormy Scott from? Texas, right?
He's in Texas now. I think he's from New Mexico
Oh,
originally, Las
I was just
Cruces or
curious
something. But
for some weird reason if maybe he'd been. I know he doesn't even run late models anymore, but I wanted to look anyways. Yeah, he's not on
yeah,
there. Just you
no, he
never
has.
know.
Yeah, no, yep,
Because he like
right.
retired from late models, didn't he? That's
He
kind of what
did.
he
He was
said.
because
Yeah.
he was doing chassis too. He was doing that
But he could
the
have showed up in
category
a
5 and
Dillard
stuff.
backup car or something goofy, who knows?
True, true. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna be running like more stuff like in a CDR house car kind of thing. He's running really well too. Just something to throw out there
USMTS
maybe for next.
2026.
Maybe not USMTS. I mean, they only had 9 guys follow it, so like, but also maybe to have a CDR house car on tour. So possibly, something to think about. But anyway, I'll be keeping an eye on that too. At least the modifieds are on Racing Dirt. I don't know if I'll get to watch any of the other parts or not, but I feel fairly confident the modified portion's on Racing Dirt. So if I tune in at all this weekend, I'll let you know how much of it I got to watch, or if it was just that. But the late models look interesting. They had a bunch of names, a bunch of people announced. There wasn't going to be a small field. Tyler Wolf was one of them, and a couple other guys moving up from
Bagley,
the dump.
Morgan Bagley.
Yeah, Mo Bags. Yeah, that Chris Wilhite guy, who I for some reason think was the dude who drove at the Dome a couple years ago without a nose. So maybe I'm wrong on that, but I feel
Yeah, I
like that
remember
was the
the
name of
incident. I
the.
don't remember the name. So
I think so. But anyway, so interesting field of cars, interesting event altogether. This is the second huge event third, fourth, because then Texas Motor Speedway have 2 high limit events, the opening and the closing event.
I think the opening was Vegas, wasn't it?
Okay, you
They may
could be
have
right, but I think they went
they
there
had
twice.
they had Power Eye there in March.
Okay,
Oh, and then they had High
so they
Limit a couple weeks ago, and then that mod thing. So this is at least their like
that mod thing.
fourth like weekend doing something, not a
Right on.
show, but weekend. Here, let's see. Did they go
It's an
there?
interesting tracks, but it seems to be coming online a little bit more
Oh,
aggressively.
they had a High Limit in May as well.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought there was 2 high limit shows there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm noticing I'm like all in on sprint cars and some of the like modifieds and touring stuff until racing near me starts, and then like I've only
That's how
got
I
time
am.
for so much.
Yeah.
Yep, I only got time for so much, and they fall off, and I follow mostly mods and late models, and then my local guys. So That makes sense. But anyway, I think that's everything we had kind of planned to cover and preview, which means, Carter, it's time for.
The one for the road, and mine is I don't know a ton about this race, and we talked about this race or this track 2 weeks ago. But Why Not is having the Street Stock World Championships, I believe, and it's not the same. They have they have two of these events, which is kind of confusing. They have one in August, which is the Southern Street Stock Nationals, and this one is
Okay.
different. This is I think this is the third annual, and it's the Street Stock World Championship. That's what it's called. And it's 8,000 to win for the street stocks. And I don't, the one reason I found this kind of interesting was the winner last year, who I don't even know if he'll be there, but the winner last year was Dallin Murdy at,
Oh,
at a race in Mississippi in a street stock. But yeah, I looked at his page earlier. I didn't see any mention about them going back. So
hmm.
I don't know if he'll be defending his title or not. But yeah, they 8,000 to win for street stocks is pretty dang good anywhere. So
Yeah, yeah,
Spencer Hughes could be one that we know that's there. There'd probably be a few names we'll
yeah,
recognize, but not know a ton about.
maybe.
Um, I think last year they had
Well,
49 too, so
oh, not bad. Not as big
no,
as the
it's
other one,
not
but
as big
not
as the
not
other one is the big race, the big sprint
the
car one.
big
They like
one.
100 at the other one.
Yeah,
Um,
not sprint car, street stock, but yeah.
sprint, yeah,
Uh,
if I said
yeah,
sprint cars,
yeah.
whoops.
No worries. Yep. Um, Yeah, although even if Murdy's not there, the fact that he just kind of, I don't want to say randomly popped up, but it feels randomly popped up there. Maybe that means we might see, if not him, some other interesting or out of the blue names from up this area. It feels like he was driving a car for someone, so that car's
Yeah, he
fast.
was driving for someone.
So it needs a seat. It needs a seat filled. So if not him, who else? Who knows? But yeah. Is that on just
It's
it's
on
okay if you don't
it's
know.
on something, but it's not on
Okay.
flow.
Okay. Not something we or most of the other ones might have.
Yeah.
But okay. So my one for the road, I want to talk modifieds. Shocker, right? But um, so I'll preface this with I'm not trying to get in the weeds about whether or not they made the right call or what the hell even any of this means. I'm relying on people a hell of a lot smarter than me, and I'm just forming my opinion based off that. But so UMP announced that they announced new body rules for this upcoming 2026 season, and I caught wind of it because there was a few certain people who seemed to be really upset that they had made these changes and felt like it was pulling the modifieds back a decade and other things that they were saying. Um, and so then I was like, well, is this a good or a bad thing? And then I saw some of the quotes that they gave around this, and this is where I think what they actually did and how they described it don't connect. And so that's probably why the majority of people were pissed. But anyway, the quote they were quoted as saying, so this is Sam Driggers, the series director.
Yep.
He's quoted as saying, in addition to economics and other factors affecting the division and hurting car counts, the cars are getting to a degree that some racers can't keep up with and then give up on competing. The rules updates are in an effort to somewhat dial back the cars so everyone feels like they have a chance. And it feels a little bit like they're trying to make it fair, but then they're like, yeah, but we're not going to address any of the mechanical shit where all the money is. But the body's got to be more squarer. And that we think everyone's going to be able to compete fairly now. And so, I don't know, that part seems a little foolish, but having got that out of the way, digging deeper into it, it feels like they're getting rid of the one thing that I've kind of disliked about UMP mods, at least this year for sure, is they're getting rid of that stupid kink when the deck gets to the nose and it looks like
Oh
this
yeah.
and the car looks all crooked and crap. They're getting rid of that. And some people are up in arms being like, the cars look so cool. I do not share that opinion. They look dumb as hell, in my opinion.
UMP mods are really weird. That's the one mod class I see, or of the big sanctions where they all look totally different. Like you go to Wasota, USRA, IMCA, they all pretty much look the same.
Kind
The
of
only ones
uniform.
that don't look the same are the really old cars, like chassis and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you'll go I go to Fairbury and it's this one looks crazy, all bent up and stuff, like you were saying.
Mhm.
And then another one who's also fast looks closer to a USRA or IMCA mod. more straight and looks like more like a mod by us. But yeah, they're like all, and then they're like some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. It seems they're
Yeah.
one's dang near a 90-degree angle the way their body is. It's yeah, it's
Yeah. So I think for sure they've gotten rid of that. That I call it a kink. They just look like kinked cars. It looks like someone hit the wall. I was like, oh shit, I guess. And I get that they're doing it for aerodynamics and everything, but I just don't know that I don't know that making them slightly straighter all of a sudden makes everyone able to compete. But it kind of is what it is. But I'm also kind of excited about it because I dug deeper and I saw some commentary from some racers and things like that I thought was interesting. Um, I watched a gentleman involved with Modified Mafia gave a rundown, and he's like, truthfully, all this is really doing is we're adding this decking panel here where some people have removed it, and it's just now it just has to be uniform across. That's the big change. So there's not a bunch of stuff you have to go out and buy and do, and so on and so forth. Take it with a grain of salt, but he went on a live on the Mod Mafia thing and said it and took comments. So I'm going to trust that he has some idea of what he's talking about. And then I also, so Kurt Spalding had commented on that, and he had said something to the effect of his USRA and IMCA car now match the UMP rules. So that leads me to believe we're bringing everyone a little closer to parity.
oh,
Maybe
that's
not
good.
the exact same, but everyone's rules are a little more similar. I learned through that too. Apparently, UMPs being slightly different and allowing the deck to be 67 inches wide instead of 66, where USRA and IMCA are. And just do it fucking 66. Like, come on, man, we need this. But anyway, and then I think also I saw Tom Berry make a comment about the nose pieces and some of the changes they made with the nose brings them in line with pretty much the rest of the other sanctions too. So there's that. To your other point, you go to Fairbury and they all of a sudden look that there's no uniformity. Enforcement. That was another thing everyone was talking about. It's like you can write the rules however you want, but if you don't enforce them
It
across the
doesn't
board,
matter.
then it doesn't matter. So I think there's always that fly in the ointment. I don't race UMP. I don't race at all. I don't want to speak on whether UMP enforces the rules or not, but there are opinions out there. There's enough voices out there to lead you to believe in some instances the people don't feel like they do. So it's sort of sometimes just comes down to that. You can write the rules however you want. If you force them, is the difference between the two. My favorite thing though is that if I'm taking the general consensus of racers who I've seen race across sanctions, this brings everything a little bit closer. And I think that the gentleman's name was Brandon Riff. I believe I'm saying that correct. He said it probably the best. He's like, I would love if we just could all of us, IMCA, USRA, WISOTA, and UMP, just kind of agree on what it is. What do we want to, what is the uniform ish body? How can we get everyone close enough or the same? And you can just go run them like late models, right? Late models, you can go, if you got a super, you can go run a super pretty much anywhere, right? You
Yeah.
might have to buy different tires, but otherwise you can pretty much go run them
Well, the
anywhere.
engines are still different in all the mods, though.
True, but we've
But
seen, so are the
you can at least,
spoilers. So are
yeah.
the spoilers, so are the tires. We've seen them across tracks.
But at
If a
least if you
UMPA guy
even if you
wants,
can get the body there, like some of the bigger teams could just get the motors and stuff, but at least the body's there.
sure,
That's one thing. That's
sure. I
one
mean,
part of the
but
problem.
if you can roll in and they look, everyone's mod looks roughly the same. And I mean, what's the other thing? It's engine and suspension. There's some other things.
Yeah,
It'd be
there's more
great
than
if we
just
could all
engine, but
disagree, right? But if we can at least get them looking the same, we're getting in the right direction. I don't think USRA really has much restriction on their motor, but I don't want to talk out of school, so maybe they do. But them and UMP are the ones with the big dog motors, like the
yeah.
big dog motors. And then like WISOTA is a step down, and then IMCA is a B mod. So I'd love if they could get around to like having some engines, and then we could really just
Why
crack
would they
this
bother
nut
doing that
down.
when they got more mods than any of those other sanctions do? Maybe the
I
other one
mean,
should join us. We're
maybe
clearly
each individually, but each other sanction has B mods, and you guys have B mods and B mods. So I don't understand. B mods and then like slightly faster. Uh, so I don't
yeah,
know.
our
I don't.
guys.
I don't want to hate on IMCA.
All I'm
I
saying
did.
is let me know when a WISSOTA car can race in Florida, Arizona, California, Wisconsin, Or
Ricky, he's been everywhere.
you could run there, but it ain't legal at all.
Buzzy Adams used to run down and run in Florida all the time until he retired. So
You can't go to California though, unless without getting a legal IMCA car. He'll be
who
screwed.
the hell wants to go to California? They all come this way. Who's going that way? Even the
Hey,
guys who
there's
race up there just fly a plane and drive someone else's car. Come on.
okay, Arizona. There you go. A lot of guys go down there in January.
Earl Mincy
That
and
doesn't exist
and
anymore. But now the
and
Wild West
uh,
Shootout
and
got moved
Wild
there.
West.
But I don't think the Mincy's a thing anymore. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it.
Cole Searing holds some record for the Wild West Shootout down there. That's a Wissota guy. He did that in Wissota Mod, whatever record it is. So they can go everywhere too, Carter. I don't
They
know what
can't.
you're saying.
They just have select points of the year they can go down there. That's all. They got select points of the year. They can't go down there this weekend and run. You know who can go
Thank you
down
for
there?
making
IMCA cars.
Thank you for making my point. We should all get closer together. And I don't know the numbers. And honestly, I wanted to take my cheap shots, but if IMCA wants to do it that way, whatever. Like if the mod class is going to grow, it's going to have to go a different direction. It's not 2,000 to win and 40 crate cars. Like it's just not. No offense, but like so the rest of us then need to go the other direction and find a way because there's some level of appetite and desire for 100K shows and cross-sanction battles and all of that. And if y'all don't want to participate, fine. But like the rest of us need to get on the same damn page. And so that there's strength between the three of us and enough numbers and car count to make it worthwhile. And we'll let you guys run with the B mods. No spoiler this time.
Hey, we're happy. You guys, Wissota, USRA, and UMP can all join
yeah.
up, and we'll be our
And
own.
And I don't think it's one against the other. That's the other point. I'm taking cheap shots just because Carter is IMCA out by him and I'm Wissota by me. But I'm doing that just to basically have fun with you mostly. I do get it, and they have huge car counts, and what they're doing works for them.
Yeah, IMCA is really the one that doesn't need to join up.
Class.
I feel like the other three it would benefit, but I feel like IMCA is kind of chilling. Like
they're doing all
doing
right,
their own.
right?
Yeah, they're okay.
And their
I
mods
think.
and they're a little bit different style of mod, and hell, Timmy Kern's taking an IMCA mod with an IMCA motor to the dome, and I think it's the same setup he's run with Bone, and Bone's done good in it. So it's not that they can't compete in certain spots, right? But if we bring an IMCA mod to Ogilvy and have him run with Kyle Strickler on a 3/8 mile, the door's getting blown off, and so
That's our guys just go to late models anyways nowadays. They used to not do that, but recently that's been the career path for IMCA guys. Ricky Thornton Jr. showed them the way.
I think it's a lot of them. I mean, and there were comments about dying class and there were arguments to be made that it's like this is another version of a premier class and we should just let them go hog wild and all of that. And I don't know. I just think there's somewhere in the ecosystem for mods, and I want more mod races that are cool. I love watching mods race. I really do. And I think part of it is just they're a little bit distinctive, right? Everything else kind of looks like a car. Mods look
Except
a little
for them,
gnarly.
yeah, they look completely different.
Yeah, they look a little gnarly. They have a little bit of an attitude to them. I don't know. I like them obviously a lot, and so when I heard all of this talk and I saw what they were doing, it was interesting, and so I'll say this: whatever the hell these rules end up being, my takeaway, as I understand it right now, is they brought everyone closer together, and I'm all for bringing everyone closer together. So I'm happy about that. So that's my take on it. But anyway, Carter, that's everything. We're done now. So, all right, guys. If you're still here, hit the like. Please, please, please. Tell someone, probably your grandma. I think we're still doing good. I think we're still hot in the grandma demographic, so that's good. Carter, buried deep in the show, we reached one of our goals.
Oh yeah,
we had set out some goals. One of them was 2,000 followers on TikTok. We crossed that plateau this weekend. We're actually almost at 2,100 already.
Oh.
Yeah. So when we cracked that seal, it kind of went wild. So that's neat. Good for us. I mean, that's part of, we're trying to build the brand and stuff. So I doubt any of our TikTok viewers are watching this late in here, but if you are, thanks for following.
There's a reason they're on TikTok.
Yeah. Short attention spans. We'd do better if we could make our shorter. Anyway, I'm belaboring. So we're still hoping to get to 100 on YouTube. That probably feels the other two are equally difficult, and then the other one is we're trying to get to 1,000 on Facebook, and I think we're only at 700. So what we got 66 on YouTube. We got some road to hoe on both of them, but we
Okay, we
also
can
need
start
to.
making new profiles and we'll do it ourselves.
Okay, yeah, we
We'll
can
get it
bot
done.
it.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. There's some accounts I feel like they're anyway. I don't know. I'll promise you I will proudly rep my low ass follower count before I'll buy one.
Oh no, I would never buy one.
I'll never buy a single damn one. Nope, nope, nope. So yeah. Anyway, with that, if you're still here and you don't follow us on any of those platforms, help us get there. Much appreciated. And we'll catch you. I'll catch you next week with special guest, potentially Alex Williamson and Carter. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Yep. All
All right,
right,
buddy.
see ya.